Are you kidding me?
I told you, didn't I? We can work some magic on this for sure.
I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. Look at the beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car.
Later on, I'll be giving you some more advice on buying and selling cars, because almost all of us have had to do it at some point, and I have decades of experience that should be able to help you. But before that, we have a story about the fake Ferrari F40 I brought from the stunt driver Terry Grant. I nicknamed this car the Ferrari Rocher. Just like the chocolates, you either love them or you hate them. Today is another example of me buying a vehicle that's pretending to be something it's not. You know, like a replica or a recreation. Today we'll see what happens when I take a non-running fake Ferrari to one of the UK's foremost Ferrari experts to see if I brought a nasty can of worms or a designer dress for charity shop money.
This day started well enough. Loading cars in the sunshine is far better than loading cars in the rain, I can assure you.
I'm gonna get this bad boy looking like a bad boy again as opposed to a broken boy. Let's have it.
Terry explained this car hadn't run in years. I knew what I was buying was a Pontiac Fiero wearing a Ferrari dress. Definitely mutton dressed as lamb. But the thing is, I also knew that this car would turn heads the world over. And that's definitely something I wanted to do.
I cannot believe this, guys. I am sweating my absolute bottom off. There you go, that's polite for you lovely people sat at home. And the Ferrari Rocher is loaded. We're on our way to Scott at Ratarossa. So Scott, if you don't know who Scott is, right? Scott is like the millionaire version of Sam Ard from PaddleUp Garage. So when I say millionaire, doesn't have monetary value in his bank, but he has the most epic selection of cars. We mess around with fake Ferrari F40s on the back, and he messes around with real Ferraris. Like, you know, like, oh, there's a Ferrari, let's build it on my driveway. Like, no one in their right mind's gonna take, okay, someone in their right mind it's Scott from Ratarossa is gonna take it apart. But he is a very clever man. And if there's anyone that can get my Ferrari Rocher back on the road, it is him himself.
You can check out Scott's Ferrari escapades on his YouTube channel. Just search Ratarossa. Scott named his channel Ratarossa after one of his most famous rescues. Scott imported an unwanted American Ferrari Testarossa project that was languishing on a Lamborghini forum. But don't leave this brilliant episode just yet, because things are about to get very interesting.
People know this guy for the crazy cars he's built, the crazy cars he's made, and the crazy cars that, yeah, I don't really think I need to say anything else. But today we're here with the Ferrari Rocher, and we bought this car from Terry Grant, and it looks okay. We haven't heard it running yet, and we haven't driven it yet. We have a little bit of help from the best car builder in the Ferrari world in the UK, Mr. Scott himself. Hopefully we can get this car running and driving today. We're going to take all the stickers off, we're going to remove all the Terry Grant livery, sorry Terry, and we're going to give it a deep polish. And for those lovely people at home, we're going to do the fastest ever ceramic coating. We're going to coat this in Avalon King's Armour Shield. I believe that's right, is that right?
Armour Shield 9, I think it is.
Yeah. Armour Shield 9. So me and Scott, we're going to do what we can to make this less than lovely looking Ferrari a little bit more less lovely looking. It's science, but
The thing is though, is that we're not really selling this too well with what I do. If we look at this, and we look at the quality of this is actually looking better.
it looks
already.
pretty good. I mean, I call it a 20-footer because the camera at the moment is 20 feet away.
Yeah.
And I think it looks pretty good to the people at home, but
We can work some magic on this for sure.
let's play ball.
Let's do it. Let's move some cars around. We might be able to fire it up.
First thing I wanted to do was jump start the car. I suspected the battery was next to dead, and I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, my one's dead. This battery's good.
Oh, that's good. That's got 12.
Oh, oh,
Something sounds good.
something's happening.
Was it my jump leads?
I think your jump leads are not as good as they once were. I can hear something.
I can certainly hear something.
Right.
Alright, this is cool.
Right. Right, we've got no ignition. Oh, we've got electric windows though.
Electric windows. Oh, hang on. Something's smoking. Something's smoking back here.
Okay, we're gonna need.
Put them on the right tail.
Yeah, they're on the right way around. It's just because these are what they call the cheapest jump leads in the world, right? So we need to.
So that thing there was really like smoking the.
This one here, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
The connector at the bottom.
It's because there's so much current going through it, and we're trying to start a V8 car with the most Asda's own unmechanic jump leads you've ever seen.
I can't believe one didn't work.
They're good, just not for us. Let's try 2 sets of jump leads. I've seen in the movies that this might work.
It's like 3. 3 typically works.
3's the number, I think.
Look at the size of that exhaust.
They look like motorbike cans, don't they?
This is very loud, I can tell.
Well, I'm so impressed. You're already saying that it's going to start. Like, this is going to be loud, like you know it's going to start.
Have faith.
Joanna.
You clearly haven't owned Ferraris, so you have to have faith. Otherwise, that's it, they're never going to start.
Well, how do we turn the... There we go.
Fans.
Are you kidding me?
I told you, didn't I?
Guys, this video isn't over yet. Just to let you know, we're going to be dropping a video every Wednesday. Please click that subscribe button and touch that bell icon so you get new alerts when we release new videos. My very first journey in this wonderful car was all of 20 yards as I turned the thing around to get it onto Scott's drive. Baby steps, baby steps. I knew there was a great deal more work to get this beauty running normally. So, with a battery that had seen far better days, it was time to replace that and get back to basics.
Okay, so we've got our battery in place. We've got the water topped up. Now the main thing we're going to have to do is to get it running and just plumb the water through. We want to make sure that it doesn't overheat. We want to make sure there's no airlock, because obviously the engine's at the front and the radiator, sorry, the engine's at the back and the radiator's at the front. And there's 2 really long pipes that run from the rear of the car to the front. The problem with them is you get lots of little areas where air can sit. So it's a priority here now is to just plumb the system. So we're going to run the car up. He'll let a bit of air out. There's a few little holes inside the engine there where the air will sit. The air will bubble out the top, get the water level okay. We'll turn it off. We'll seal up the lid. We'll put the lid on the top. That will give us a nice sealed area this end. And then basically we'll do the other side. We'll pop the radiator cap and plumb the water through that way. Okay, you can see the water's circulating, which is nice. We can see that it's flowing, which means that, you know, the water pump is working and we've got circulation of the coolant. It's looking very brown, which probably means there's not a lot of antifreeze in there. On a day like this, you know, the climate in the UK is rarely below 0. But that's flowing really, really nice. It's nice and warm. We're just going to put a bit of seal around this cap. This is not something you normally do. You go buy a new cap. But in this case, don't leave your cap in the sun because it gets very warm. Right. There we go. That happened. Right. I just ruined his cloth. Sorry about that. I'll buy you a new one. Right. So now Previously, when we were running this up, we were getting quite a lot of drips popping out of there. Not a good sign at all. If the cooling system is allowing water to come in, it can also allow air in. Therefore, the system will overpressurise, blow your head gaskets, and there's a couple of things you won't want to do on a Cadillac engine, and both of them are replace head gaskets. Right, we'll give that a couple of minutes, let it warm up, make sure it doesn't cook itself, and we'll go from there. Let's have a... We're going to throw some fans on. The car came with quite a selection of cooling fans. Take it, that means this car gets a little bit hot, so I'm going to throw those fans on quick just to make sure it's circulating and nice and cool. It's not only for looks. Oh, we're out. I'll play with some switches and see if we can get that to turn on. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
She's on. So that's actually extracting the air out of the engine bay, keeping it nice and cool. Perfect. And the coolant gauge is on 0, so that's a really good sign. When most people look at a radiator, they assume that that should always be hot. But what you're wanting is you want this hose here, which goes in the top, to be nice and hot. And as it goes down through the radiator, it will get cooler and cooler. And it radiates the heat through the fan, pushing it out. And the bottom hose will always be a lot colder. That's a really nice sized radiator as well. Not only does it sit in the hole really well, but it's nice and fat. The thicker the radiator, the more air can go through it, and the quicker it will cool the water down. Very nice. Okay, there she is, the Ferrari Rocher with Scott down at Ratarossa. And our pink Ferrari Rocher is looking a bit pink. Looking a bit boy racering there with the stripes, but very 1980s, I can imagine. That was pretty cool. But it's pink in a few places. There is a lot of surface scratches, very dull all over. This beautiful man here has had a lot of experiences with good looking Ferraris. Not so much Ferrari Rochers. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to give it a clean down. We're going to get some of the grime and grud that's been sat on this car for years, and we're going to see if we can get looking a bit more red and a little bit more Ferrari-like with our mate Scott from Ratarossa.
I use my Rupees mop and some G3 and G2 cutting compound to basically take a small thin layer of paint off the top so we can see that bright red paint underneath.
The good thing is you can really see the difference. It looks like a bubble material, like oil on the water in puddles. So I'm just going to go over that now and just buff that off. Straight away you can see all the places that you've got, and it's coming off really nice. You know, you get that feeling, you know, like when you polish a car and you leave it in the sun too long, it's a nightmare to get off. I'm not getting that feeling here. It seems to be coming off really, really nicely.
This really is probably perfect weather for doing this. You know, we're in the shade. It's a nice temperature. Look at that.
And we have just followed.
Well, I mean, that is, honestly, look at that. That panel we've just ceramic coated. This one was the one we cleaned up earlier, which looked great and amazing compared to the side that we didn't touch. Look at that. Look how flat that is. This bit we haven't ceramic coated. This bit we have.
And the difference is actually quite amazing, isn't it?
You really can see it, can't you?
I think we should throw some stuff at
And even like, look at the headlights. Look at the difference on those headlight
on that is
lines.
stunning, and that's just, and we've cleaned that as well. These stickers, I can imagine they were cool in 1994, but today we are the modern men, and I think that the stickers need to go. They're a bit damaged in certain places, and they are representing the former owner. They haven't got Ardup Garage or Ratarossa on it just yet. I'm sure this lovely gentleman over here has got stickers which he's going to graffiti my automobile. But they are a bit hard on there. The sun is nice and hot, so that will loosen up the glue underneath these, and we're going to try and remove them the best we can. There is, you know, whoever Terry's gran is, I'd like to know. But www.terrysgran.com, check her out. She's a lovely lady. And we're going to take some stickers off and see if it looks a little bit more convincing with the stickers off. Here we go.
I made some progress, especially with the decals at the top of the windscreen and the side of my new toy. But unfortunately, this job was a little bit more than what we had planned for our day. I quickly realised that I needed to get people in to do this job for me to save me a bit of time. Even with some of Terry Grant's decals still on the car, we decided it was time that this prancing horse stretched its legs, so to speak.
Actually sounds good.
Just listen to Scott. He was surprisingly impressed.
It works. I like. It actually looks extremely convincing when you're about halfway down there.
Really?
It's like the height and everything like that. Literally, if you had another couple of inches in there, it really.
We'll need an extra few inches, mate.
Yeah.
You had to get close to this red rascal to realise it really wasn't actually a Ferrari F40, and there's something to be said for that. I must say I was quietly very happy too. After finally getting back from the road test, we needed to appraise it, check it over a bit more, as we discovered that the car needed a little bit more attention. The car had air in the cooling system, and this really did need bleeding. As I loaded the Ferrari Rocher back onto my recovery truck, I had one hell of a smile on my face. This vehicle was far from perfect, but it definitely did attract attention, and it was basically a good car from an engineering aspect. I also had an idea of who I could sell it to in the near future. That's once I've finished having my fun with it.
Look at beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car.
Guys, you should know by now that every Wednesday we're releasing you a new episode, and in every episode I've promised to give you a new tip or advice. Guys, this advice this week is if you buy a car from a trader, a dealership, you have rights. If you buy it from someone's house, you do not. So guys, when you go to that dealer or that trader, you actually automatically have a 3-month warranty. If that car goes wrong in those 3 months, take it back, they are fully liable. As soon as you mention court or anything like that, they're going to get rather scared and hopefully fix that car. Worst case scenario, they can bring you your money back. Obviously, we're on YouTube, releasing a new episode every Wednesday, but follow what we're releasing and watch everything else we're doing on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even TikTok. Now it's time for Make or Break to take a break. You stay classy and remember, just remember to be awesome every day.